Okay, guys, welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. If you landed on this podcast episode, you are probably a manifesting generator and a female entrepreneur, coach, or expert. So, welcome. Take a cup of tea and binge listen to all the amazing episodes I have set up for you. Episodes to help you create the right energy and mindset to create the manifesting generator business and life of your dreams. Here we go. Okay, queens. Of course. Mama, Thursday. Daddy. Oh, is that so? It's Thursday and we're in the car. New situation because our baby is now in a different car seat. And I feel like that is such a milestone because she was still in the car seat, like the baby car seat, where she's like backwards facing the back of the car. And all of a sudden yesterday I was like washing the car and I had my fun alignment morning. And all of a sudden I keep seeing her look over her shoulder all the time, right? I'm like, isn't it time that she actually gets a normal car seat like for a 2-year-old? And I went to the baby store. We have a baby store like literally a couple of minutes from our house where we used to buy like literally everything. Now we're not planning on having a second, but literally we bought so many stuff that we never use. Like if I would ever get a baby again, I would buy nothing because most of the stuff you literally don't need. And the things, well, in our case, all the things that I thought I would need, like it's just like she's not the baby for it, right? So my advice, if you ever plan on getting pregnant, wait with buying until you have the baby. But again, don't listen to my advice because honestly, I just love the process. I just love buying all that stuff because it makes you feel like when you're pregnant and you like, it's like you know you're pregnant. That's actually something I never really realized, that when you're pregnant, your mind knows you're pregnant, right? Because you can see it. But it's like you really have to adjust. It's like you can't really grasp the fact that you're pregnant. At least that was the case. That was in my case. That was the case in my case. I was like, am I really pregnant? Am I really pregnant? I mean, I still, up until this day, have dreams that I dream that I'm pregnant, but then not really pregnant. Then by the time that I have to get birth, like nothing comes out. Like it's a really weird dream. But I still feel like sometimes, did this really happen? So buying all the baby stuff and decorating, like buying a crib and all of that stuff, that was so fun for me. Even though our daughter never used a crib, she doesn't even have her own room. She sleeps in our bed. I mean, the baby carrier, I've told like 1,000 stories about that, how that was like the most ridiculous thing ever. But it was so much fun for me to purchase those things. So really do whatever your heart tells you to do. But don't expect that the things that you buy will necessarily be for the things that you like, for the purpose that you thought you were buying it for. So that being said, I think it's a very interesting intro for this episode because I feel the essence of this episode is about like letting the universe like really enjoy the moment and understand that every step serves a purpose, but 9 out of the 10 times the outcome is different than what you expect it to be, right? So I think this pregnancy thing that I just came up with is a fun example of that, right? Because I really thought like, oh, I'm buying a baby crib so that she can sleep in it. That never happened, but it doesn't make me regret buying that baby crib. Even though I spent that money on it, I genuinely don't mind because I can give the baby cribs to somebody else. We've done that. I can donate it to charity. We've done a lot of that as well. I do not believe in scarcity, right? So I know my parents, both of them, my mom and my dad, they're divorced forever, but both of them, they pretty much, I think, had a heart attack when they found out what I paid for the baby carrier. So I'll tell the story again just for the sake of it. I bought a baby carrier like literally after our first echo, like ultrasound, like where you see the baby. after that first appointment, we bought that, or actually I bought that baby carrier. I really wanted to pay for it. I really wanted it. And it was a 4,000 euro baby carrier. Okay, a stroller. Okay. So I just loved it. I absolutely loved every process of it. It was amazing. But when she was born, we literally like maybe used it 3 or 4 times and never again, because she's just not the type of baby for it, and I'm not the type of mom for it. I felt ridiculous walking behind the stroller. I felt like this is so out of place, and I just needed her on my body, right? So I have the Artapulpet, which is a baby carrier, which is like the thing that you strap towards your body. I feel I'm mixing up all kinds of words in this episode, but I know you guys hopefully can forgive me. I'm in like a very high frequency, so sometimes when I get to this channeled frequency, I'm sort of all over the place. But anyways, the baby carrier, the one that I strap to my body, that is the one we use like intensively, right? So, but then we actually had this baby stroller for 4,000 euro, which we never used. And I literally didn't regret it. I was like, I know this will work itself out. I know I bought this thing for a reason. I had so much fun buying it, and I'm just curious to see how this plays out. And both of my mom and dad, they were like having they had a breakdown around it. And especially because like a couple of months later, or like no, maybe a little like a year later, I had like my financial crisis, right? So especially then, they were probably like, oh my God, Sophie, why did you buy that such an expensive stroller? Be wise with your money, right? I totally get that. I praise them for loving me so much to care, but I do not believe in that type of mentality. I truly, truly believe that if something is calling you so desperately in the way that baby stroller was calling me, that it served a purpose. So fast forward, almost 2 years later, I'm finally at a point, like, because before I was already sometimes thinking maybe I should sell it, but I just felt in my heart, no, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell it. I just wasn't ready for it yet. But then the interesting situation came, because then the financial crisis came on my path, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I need that money now, and I'm going to sell this stroller. I was like, who in the world is going to buy this stroller for like 3,000 euros? Because that's the amount that I wanted for it, because that was the amount that I needed to pay off my taxes that month. So I had like a very clear desire why I wanted to sell it. And I did an attempt before to sell it, but I didn't really want to sell it. So of course I didn't get any traction on my ads on, we call it marketplace. It's like a place where you can put your stuff and people can buy it. Okay, so I have this desire, I have this clear goal, because I have to pay that tax. I don't have the money to pay it. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I have to sell this stroller, right? So I put it on marketplace, and pretty fast I get a response. But it's like this weird kind of response, right? And I don't know if you guys have that in like the US or any other country you're from, but where we live, we have marketplace. You can put things on there, but what happens a lot of the time is that people will actually fake people will respond, right? So they will send you a message, and then they'll be like super interested. They'll offer to pay the full amount, and then they're like, oh yeah, but I'm in another country, so you have to transfer the money. So listen to this story. So I posted on marketplace, and I get a response from somebody, and she says, I really want this stroller. I'll just pay full price. Can you give me a call? So she puts her number in it, and I first was like, this is weird, right? Because who in the world just pays a stroller 3K full without even wanting to see it or whatever, right? But I'm like, okay, well, it feels weird, but I'm just gonna follow up on it. So I call this number, And I get a out of office number, but the one that really signals that somebody is in a different country. So I'm like, oh, this is weird. This is really weird. Okay. So I didn't think of it again. I was like, this is just like fake, whatever. Couple of like days later, I get another message, and this person is like, I really want this stroller. We are in, we're in Brazil right now, like a Brazil place. I was like, this is getting weirder. I'm in Brazil right now, but one of my employees can come and pick it up. I'm like, again, what the ever, right? What is this? I mean, who is gonna buy a stroller, a 3,000 euro stroller, without even ever seeing it, right? So I'm talking to my husband. I'm like, do you think this is real? He's like, it doesn't sound real. But I'm like, well, let me explore it. So I'm like, well, I think it's better that you just contact me when you're back in the Netherlands. This is my phone number. Reach out to me when you're back. So we go to this dinner party from my sister-in-law, and it's like super late, and the next day I wake up, I check my marketplace, and all of a sudden I see a message like, oh, I've been trying to reach you because one of my employees was close to you. They want to pick you up, but I guess we couldn't get a hold of you, so too bad. I'm like, okay, this person I think is actually serious, right? So now I'm starting to take it seriously. So I reach out. I'm like, okay, I missed you trying to make an appointment for this morning, but I mean, are you able to make it later today? And she's like, yeah, because we did just come back from Brazil, but I mean, my husband really doesn't feel like driving all the way up to you. So maybe if you have a possibility to come over here to bring it, you could, like, maybe that's a possibility. And I'm like, seriously, like, maybe I drive all the way there to find out that it's like not even real. And normally I wouldn't do that, right? I would be like, yeah, you can come and pick it up, but I'm in need of those 3,000 euros, right? So I'm like talking to my husband. I'm like, babe, if I can make 3,000 a day by just driving there for 30 minutes, don't you think we should do it? So he's like, oh my God, so yes, okay, do it. So luckily these people offer me out of themselves to already send over some money to sort of prove to me that they're legit. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Just transfer 500 euros or something. So anyway, long story straight, we have the car. I have an Audi Q3. We have it packed with this stroller. I mean, this thing is insanely big. It's like so inconvenient. I don't even know how people do that with strollers because they take up so much freaking space in the car. So the whole car was totally packed, and we drive up to their house. So just to paint a picture for you, the Netherlands is a very small country, okay? So not everybody lives in big mansions. We get to this place, and there is this huge gate. We go through the gate, and we enter this huge piece of land, which you don't have a lot of in the Netherlands, with an amazing big mansion on it. And we drive up, and we park the car, and these are people that remind me of my dad and his wife, like really like people who have a lot of money but don't show it at all. So they have a big house, but it's like there's like dog poo all over the floor on the basement and stuff. It's like ridiculous. So we pull over, we get there, and we have such a fun time selling this stroller to them. And then they also actually end up buying my diaper bag, my Gucci diaper bag. So I was like so I don't even know the right word. I was so filled up with joy about the way we sold this amazing stroller, and like the story that came with it, and like it was like for me and my husband both, we looked at each other and we're like laughing. We're like, oh my God, the universe works in mysterious ways, because we would have never ended up at that place with these people. He had a crocodile farm in South Africa. I mean, these were interesting people. It was so funny. And I just had the best time. And I just reminded myself of the fact, like, you did so good, Sophie, because you loved buying that stroller and you loved selling it. And there wasn't a moment in my heart that I regretted that decision, even though people in my environment were like, this was not a wise financial decision. Okay, so what is the whole point of this story? The whole point of this story is that sometimes we end up buying things, or maybe getting into portals, or like signing up for things from a different place. Like our mind thinks we do it for one thing, but then like the result is something completely different, but 9 out of the times 10 times better than you could have ever imagined. Okay, so I actually planned on talking about something totally different. I was thinking about talking about my Facebook ads, how that experiment went last month, because that's sort of a similar story about how I went in with one expectation and then came out with a completely different outcome, but like the most fun outcome ever. There's no need for me to tell that story, because it's like in essence the same kind of story. This episode is really a reminder for you and for all of us to just trust your heart and to let go of any scarcity and trust that the universe always has your back. It wants your success just as much as you want it. And letting go of the expectations is so fun, because the outcome you will get will be so much better than you could have ever imagined. And I always tell myself, if I can imagine the outcome, it's not a good thing, because my mind is at the current timeline, right? My mind is in the current reality. So if my mind can't come up with it, it's not a good thing, because I don't want expected outcomes. I want like the big, bold, unapologetic, unexpected outcomes, right? So I love it when I get these kind of like cool synchronicities, and just like a level of like, oh my God, life is good. Life is freaking good. Okay, guys, just wanted to share this with you. I'm at a good place, guys. I'm loving my life. I'm loving my business. I'm loving the vibes. I'm loving the Instagram. I'm loving it all. And I'm just so happy that I have different places where I can connect with all of you on a different level. So much fun, so much fun, so much fun. And if you want like a good vibe type of energy, I will give you a fun gift. Because the other day I received a message from one of my Dream Academy clients. She's in a Dream Academy. She started in Dream Academy in November. So she started with the Art of Responding course to prepare herself for it. And then in the Art of Responding course, there is a lesson 9. And she sends me this WhatsApp message saying like, oh my God, Soph, I love this audio so freaking much. I will listen to this over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, ooh, that is fun, because I was looking for a new freebie and I didn't know what to create. And I basically feel like the universe is showing me, Sophie, make this your freebie. So I'm now offering for a limited time only lesson 9 out of the Art of Responding course for free. There's no upsell or anything. It's just like me really sharing my fun work with you guys. So if you're excited about that and you're like, oh my God, I would love to listen to that episode or to that audio lesson, then sign up. The link is in the description of this podcast show. In this lesson, I actually give you, I think 9 business lessons you should follow as a manifesting generator. It's really fun. It's a very high frequency audio lesson. So you can download it for free for a limited time only. Go to the show notes in the link. Go to the link in the show notes, and you can download it right away for free. Lots of fun. And we'll talk to you soon on the next episode. Bye for now.